Yo, what is going on, guys? So we got a clip here of a lady who regrets leaving a good man. So let's see what she has to say.
I can't be the only one with this kind of story. About 2 years ago, I was in a relationship with a man, and he was about 40. I was about, 25, 27, something like that. But he was willing to invest in me physically, financially, emotionally, religiously, like all aspects. He wanted to make me a better woman for him. Well, he boosted my self-esteem and my well-being so much that I thought that I could do better than him. And now fast forward, I am now post dealing with a narcissist. I now understand that not all men have your best intention at heart.
Guys, just hold in the laughter, okay? We're almost finished. Hold it in.
Not all men will invest in you, and not all men will uplift you. So when you get the opportunity to date such a man, do not let it go.
And that's that. Guys, videos like this, they're becoming more and more common. Alright? These ladies out here thinking that they can date until they're 50 years old and then turn around and want to secure that guy. This is something we're going to be cracking into today, okay? Girls want to convince each other and, say, oh, don't worry, queen, you've got all the time in the world. It's just all those evil men telling you that you don't have time, okay? Those good guys that you want in your life, the guys that you want to care for you, they're slowly starting to wake up and realize, hey, wait a minute, why the hell would I do that? But anyway, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be breaking down this video together and having a look at a couple of stories if we have the time. But guys, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe on your way in and come and join the locals and the Discord links in the description. Both of those are totally free to join, guys. And if anything happens to the channel, because as we all know, YouTube is not a fan of channels like this, if anything happens to the channel, you will be notified through there. But guys, we're just going to crack right back into the video, and we're going to play it and kind of go through it together and break it down. So make sure you leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments as we go through, guys. And, I reckon there's a good portion of us who didn't make it through without laughing. But listen, let's just go through piece by piece.
I can't be the only one with this kind of story. About 2 years ago, I was in a relationship with a man, and he was about 40. I was about, 25, 27, something like that.
Something about that, guys, is like, girls will say, oh, it's so creepy how these older men, they're choosing all the younger ladies. Girls are the ones who choose their partners, okay? This is something we hammer home through pretty much all of the videos, guys. Girls are the ones that choose their partners, okay? And it's so funny to see them come out here and, other girls, not this girl, will complain about, oh, how come he went for a younger girl? It's so disgusting. It's like, okay, first of all, men prefer younger women, yes, alright? But these girls are the ones choosing their partners, okay? Anyone who says that girls are not attracted to older men is out of their damn mind. Okay, this is why, when we talk about the wall and we talk about stuff like that, it exists, okay? These ladies can sit here and they can try and rationalize it to themselves and think that they have all the time in the world, but at the end of the day, they don't. Okay, and the only person that, that has to deal with the consequences of that these days, more and more so, is themselves. Okay, because men are slowly starting to wake up. Alright, there's starting to see a difference being made here. Guys, oftentimes I get the question through my Patreon and stuff like that, and people ask, Taylor, this content, does it make a difference? Right? Does this side of the internet, does it make a difference? Has it had any impact that you can see? And the answer to that question is actually yes. Look, there's always going to be some guy that'll come along and take care of the girls who don't deserve it, who have 3 kids to another guy, right? That'll always be there. Okay, but these younger guys, man, as well as the older guys, people are starting to pick up on it. And one of the places you see this is, ironically enough, on TikTok. I have to go through all this crud and, find videos for the show and stuff like that, guys. And something I see, actually, is a lot of men stand up to stuff like this. Yeah, we got a lot of white knights and stuff like that. But a lot of the younger guys are starting to get switched on. Right, I think people like Steph is Cold and people like that have a younger audience. I know most of the people who watch, my show, our show over here, guys. Most of you are older than me, I believe, but a few of these content creators around here, man, they have younger audiences, and men are starting to say, yeah, I don't know about this whole I don't know about this whole marriage gig or relationship stuff. It seems to benefit the ladies a whole lot more than the men. Let's continue.
But he was willing to invest in me physically, financially, emotionally, religiously, like all aspects. He wanted to make me a better woman for him.
You know what the funny thing about investment is, right? Is like a lot of men actually don't mind investing in a girl. In fact, a lot of men would prefer to be able to invest in a girl. The problem is, it's a sketchy investment. Okay, you want to talk about marriage, for example? That right there is a hell of a risk. And if a guy wants to take that on in 2021, I can't say I would recommend it. Okay, because it is stacked against you. But you want to talk about dinner dates and stuff like that, and going out and whining and dining a girl. Like a lot of guys would be happy to do that. Okay, but it comes down to the question, which is, well, what's the point? Is my effort actually going to be appreciated? And a lot of the times the answer is just no. Okay, if you want to be a guy going around and see, here's what happens, and I think a lot of guys who come across my content, like I said, a lot of you guys who watch, you're older than me. Maybe you've been through marriage a couple of times, right? But a lot of guys, what'll happen is they'll go through a really long relationship. Okay, I'm talking like for the guys who have been in relationships for a very long time, and they'll come out of that relationship and they'll think that, oh well, I can just go back into society, be chivalrous, and get myself another girl. And what they've come to realize is that chivalry is well and truly out the window. You want to take girls on dates, spend $100 here and there, and do all this nice stuff for them. A lot of times, it's just interpreted as weakness, right? You want to be sitting on the phone. There used to be a time, right, where you could message a girl a lot and she would appreciate it. Now, guys, you double message, you might as well just be completely gone off the girl's radar. You see what I'm getting at here, guys? It's like the niceness isn't appreciated anymore. A lot of men, I think, well, I can't speak for all men, but I think a lot of guys would be happy to lay down that commitment. It's just not appreciated, right? So hell, there'd be guys out here who would pay your bills, and you want to sit at home and be a housewife. I'm sure there'd be guys out there still today who would be willing to pay your bills and and all that kind of stuff if you were just a good housewife, right? But the problem is a lot of that investment, it's a sketchy investment. Let's continue.
Well, he boosted my self-esteem and my well-being so much that I thought that I could do better than him.
Self-esteem, right? Anytime a girl kind of talks on camera about self-esteem, it's like, okay, that's well and good, right? But I don't. When I watch videos like this, guys, and we go through TikTok videos together and we look at stories and all that, the natural conclusion that you kind of come to is that most, if not all, of these girls walking around out here don't have self-esteem. A lot of it is shattered really early on because, and I've made this point before, girls will set their self-esteem off of other people, particularly the I hate to use this word, man, but the highest value guy that they've been with is typically who they base their self-esteem off of, right? And that's a really sad thing to see. But in general, I hate to use the word high value, right? But a lot of girls, what they're doing is they don't actually have self-esteem. You see, they'll say they have self-esteem, but what they're doing is they're basing that off of Instagram likes. They're basing that off of, how many friends and their snap score on Snapchat and stuff like that. You guys would not believe how much, like, we got a mostly male audience over here. I joke about having 6 women, but like we're pretty much all dudes over here, right? You guys would not believe the amount of emphasis that girls place on social media and the amount of how much they take their personality, not their personality, but their self-esteem from it, right? And what that essentially comes out to mean at the other end is they don't have self-esteem, right? Because it's all based off of other people's opinion of them, right? And then you get the other side of the spectrum where you get the girls who say, "Well, I don't care about other people's opinions. I don't care. All I need is me." First of all, that's a total lie. They do care about other people's opinions. And second of all, the girls that do that have kind of realized that they can't please anyone, right? Like, man, those girls are they're not the ones you want to be having relationships with. Let me put it to you that way. Like those girls who say, "Oh, I'm," once they've gotten to the point where they start to say, "I don't care what other people think. People should just accept me for the way I am," and they grow out their armpit hair. I wish I was joking, and all that kind of crap, man. It's just over from there.
And now, fast forward, I am now post dealing with a narcissist. I now understand that not all men have your best intention at heart.
And guys, this is the time in the show where we all bust out our binoculars, right? We search high and low for the sympathy, okay? Because because there is none. All right, like you went out there and man, it's something else, okay? Because they'll make the videos, right? And they'll complain about their partners. We know that it's nothing new, okay? But the funniest part about it, man, is not only will they complain about the partners, I want you to consider it from the dude's perspective here, okay? So this girl, she breaks up with the guy who's treating her well and doing all these nice things because he blew her head up, right? Like he made her feel good about herself, so she kind of moved on and wanted a guy who was a bit more of a challenge, right? We all know that's the case. So what she does is she goes out there and she gets into a relationship with another guy. Okay? Now this guy is a quote unquote narcissist, right? So he doesn't treat her the best and all this kind of stuff. But during this time, this girl would be telling the quote unquote narcissist, "Oh, I love you. Oh, I care about you so much. I don't want you to leave. You're the most fantastic guy ever. I love you so much." You see, it's only like girls will during the relationship with dudes like that, oh, they'll love him. They'll be head over heels. They'll think he's the most fantastic thing ever. And so it's damaging to the guy as well. Like we want to pretend as though it's just the guys that are treating these girls like crap. Like, oh, he treated me like crap. No, you sat in that relationship and you lied your little butt off about how much you cared for him, right? Because you didn't care for these girls don't care for the guys. It's about getting the validation, right? It's about getting him to care. It's got nothing to do with man. We got and I'll continue the video in a second, guys, but a lot of relationships at the moment, it doesn't actually, it doesn't actually revolve around love or anything like that. It's about, is he a challenge? Can I get that validation? You see, so you might look at videos like this and go, oh, well, that guy's just a piece of trash. He treated her terribly. But consider the fact that she had to treat him terribly too, right? And not only that, she made the decision to choose him. But anyway, let's continue.
Not all men will invest in you, and not all men will uplift you. So when you get the opportunity to date such a man, do not let it go.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes it's just a little bit too little, too late. Okay, because a lot of men see videos like this. They see these girls. If you're an older guy, right? You've grown up, and you've seen the people around you kind of grow older and stuff like that. And you'll see her situation. You'll look at that video and go, oh yeah, I've seen that before, right? The girls who they passed up their chance. Okay, but guys, we're going to jump into another article here, and this is actually something that's kind of interesting. So one of the concepts that we've kind of brought up in the previous videos and a couple of the previous episodes that we've done, I think this week maybe, is the fact that, look, you as a guy, you might think that, okay, well, people get into a relationship with me because they care about me, or people get into a relationship with me because they really love me. At least that's what she said. Consider, I'm going to give you guys a very cynical worldview. Take it or leave it. It's totally up to you. But relationships for girls are kind of like betting on horses, right? And the men are the horses. Okay, girls are out here, and what they do is, from a young age, they've got to gamble and bet on the guys that they think that will perform the best in life. Okay, so some of them will say, okay, well, I'll stick with this guy because he looks really good and he seems ambitious, but that might not pay off, and he can't pay the bills down the line. And my point with this whole betting analogy is to say that sometimes girls fail the bet. Okay, sometimes they bet on the wrong horse, and so they cheat on him or whatever the case may be. But I want to show you guys the reverse perspective when they bet on the horse so wholeheartedly, and then the horse leaves them. So I kind of view these stories as a little bit funny, but they're not really funny. I'm just being a bit cruel. So we're going to have a look at the opposite kind of the spectrum here and go through this story together. It is titled Build a Man with some clown emojis, and I've taken a real liking to these clown emojis. I think they're fantastic. Let's jump in. Me, a 21-year-old female, and my boyfriend, who is a 22-year-old male, broke up last week and I don't even want to exist anymore. I feel betrayed. We were together for 2.5 years and we went through so much together. But in the end, I feel he left because he felt like he's grown out of me and is better than me now. When we met, we were both broke and still finding our ways in life. We also weren't exactly in the best places mentally either, but we were instantly best friends, and I've never loved somebody so much in my entire life. I was at a point where I felt totally lost in my life and was feeling anxiety about my future. I ended up finding my happiness in him. For almost the entire relationship, we never had a single serious fight. I felt like as long as he was there, I would always be happy, but I guess I made a mistake. Gentlemen, and we're going to continue with the story in a moment. This line right here, where was it? Goodness gracious me. Oh, I ended up finding my happiness in him. Please, if you're someone watching this right now, guys, do not find your happiness in other people. Okay, that is not how it works. And just a moment here, my Streamlabs is kind of glitched out a bit. Goodness gracious. Yeah, your happiness should not be derived from other people. Okay, that's a recipe for disaster. Let's continue with the story. He was working at Home Depot, but always told me about how he dreamed of being an entrepreneur so he could work for himself, but was too scared of failure to try, saying that it would be a big waste of time and money if it just never worked out. But I encouraged him to try. I told him that it's beautiful that unlike me, he knows what he wants with his life and that he should go for it. I told him that I would support him in every way imaginable if he did, and would be there for him in every step of the way. Okay, so this is to relate back to the horse, the horse analogy. She's betting on this horse. And she's saying, okay, well, I'm betting on this horse to the extent that I'm not even going to invest in my future. Really, it doesn't sound like. I'm going to put my eggs in him as the basket and kind of go from there. Now let's see what happens. I would be there to pick him up when he would start feeling like he's not good enough. When I could tell he was getting burnt out, I would go over to his house for weeks at a time, goodness gracious me, to cheer him up. I would do a bunch of little things to make him happy, like leave him notes, and goodness me, our screen just glitched a bit there, boys. Apologies for that. I would do a bunch of little things to make him happy, like leave him notes about how amazing he is and how much I love him. I would cook for him, clean, and do all of the housework in his apartment as he could rest. I would plan and take him off on the best dates I could think of on his off days, so he could fully take his mind off of things and just spend a day being happy. The best part of all this was he always reciprocated and made me feel the most loved and appreciated girl in the world. Like the most loved, excuse me. I went from being anxious and feeling lost to feeling like I found my purpose in life. He felt like my home. My dream was to wake up every day and see nothing but happiness in his eyes, and I would do anything for that. I was happy. This is looking real wholesome. Okay, this is looking really fantastic, and you can maybe hear my sarcastic tone. But guys, like, this is kind of like, if you're reading this as a guy, you might think, well, this is fantastic. Like, this is a supportive girl. You don't see too many girls who act like this, to be honest with you. Like, to just kind of cut to the chase here, gentlemen. Not a lot of girls out here are acting like this. So when you as a guy, you might hear me reading this story to you right now, and it's a little bit refreshing, right? And I totally agree with you. This is kind of a rarity. But let's see what happens here. Well, he finally became successful, more successful than he imagined and way faster than he predicted. He started nearly 6 figures a month, and since then he just started becoming more distant. It's practically passive income, but it's like right after he gained all the free time in the world, since he doesn't have to work anymore, he has less time for me. It started by him wanting to go on all of these trips together all the time. They were always amazing and I had fun, but I'm not the rich one and still have to work and don't have infinite vacation days, so I can't always go. So he would go on frequent trips with friends for weeks at a time. Communication on his end becoming more and more minimal. His social circle grew bigger and bigger until eventually last week he doesn't need me anymore. Our lives are on two different paths, he says, and we aren't compatible anymore. This whole time, the dream and purpose I had found in my life, that glimmering happiness in his eyes now, I prayed for him to have, ended up making us incompatible, This is what my dream amounted to. Heartbroken is such an understatement that I almost feel insulted using the word. I lost my best friend and biggest supporter who I made my entire life and reason to, questionable words. I lost my purpose in life and I'm the only person in the world who could comfort me isn't here anymore. The only person who is, yeah. I feel dumb, I feel betrayed, I feel alone, I feel lost. I will never ever in my life be able to love like that again. I gave him the purest, most vulnerable love I could give him, and he didn't even want it. I don't even want to wake up in the morning. I just want to meet my best friend back. Why would he do this to me? Where do I go from here? Gentlemen, this is obviously a very sad story, and I kind of want to show you the other end of the other end of what happens because girls out here, what they're doing is a lot of them are kind of gambling on men to be their insurance, right? And that's what marriage is. When we talk about marriage on the show, to a lot of women, marriage and commitment, an emotional connection. If you watch the last video, what that actually means is, for my future and kids, right? If we have them, I need to know that you're going to be there. One of women's most biggest fears, as you can tell by the beginning of the video, is missing out on a good thing. Okay, and what I mean by that is, getting a man, for example, and then let's just say a girl throws away a guy, like in the first video, and then she regrets it afterwards. That is one of the most painful things that girls can go through. Okay, because it's not just the person that they're throwing away. You see what I'm saying here, guys? It's not just the person; it's the opportunity that they're upset about losing a lot of the time. It's not necessarily the person. Okay, now am I trying to discredit this person's pain here? No. Okay, but what I am saying is, guys, you need to understand that you're not just this look, if love were so freely given, it wouldn't be given to all the men at the top. You see what I'm saying? It's distributed based on how well the girl thinks you are going to perform. If she thinks you're going to perform well, then hey, maybe you're deserving a bit more love. Maybe you might get loved a little bit more. You see, guys, and that's a very cynical approach, but I think it's something that men should kind of be aware of. That you're not necessarily girls in particular will throw around the word love, and I care about you. They'll throw out around that word very, very willy nilly, to put it for lack of a better word, right? So just be careful as a guy when you're out here dating, and let's just say you're a guy and you've come into success in your field. Make sure you're really judging your friends and the people that you keep in your circle, because a lot of them don't necessarily have your best interests at heart. Now, am I saying that was that particular girl in the story? Who knows? All right, maybe she really did care about him, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys a different point of view, cynical though it may be. And guys, we're going to jump into a couple more things before we wrap up today's show. Don't forget to be leaving your thoughts and comments, guys. I'm aware that, my views on these sorts of things are a bit more cynical than most. I'm not asking that you adopt them at all. Just sharing a bit of a viewpoint as we go through today's show. This next one is titled, When Playing Games in Real Life Goes Wrong. I friend-zoned the guy I like and he got colder. We were walking by a hand from a party. He took my hand, and I mentioned him as a friend. He asked me, "Am I your friend?" I said yes, and he got angry and suddenly started talking excessively about his exes and girls that find him attractive, but he doesn't want them. After that, he became much colder and kind of unbothered, even more flirtatious with other women and not really paying attention to me, and stopped asking me personal questions and leads conversation really officially. A month ago, he tried to kiss me and I pushed him away because I felt like he wasn't invested in anything in me emotionally at that point in my life. How to let him know I want him to be more than a friend. I see him almost every day as we attend dance classes together 4 times a week, plus parties with our friends. I'm 23, he's 26. Now, sometimes I wish the character that you guys are seeing on the screen, we had a bit more dynamic range of movement, so I could just kind of lie on the desk and just or like bang my head on the desk at the amount of stupidity that we sometimes have to cover on this show, guys. You are not how do I put this? You as a guy, you do not have to invest in people that are not invested in you. Girls will want to play it off as though, okay, yeah, we can be friends, right? Who does that benefit? Right? It doesn't benefit you. You want to be with the girl. You want to have a relationship with the girl. You want to have fun, that sort of stuff. She wants the attention. right? She wants the time, she wants the energy, sometimes the resources, right? So who wins in this equation? You see, you got all these guys out here there thinking, guys, if you like a girl and she wants to be friends, please, for the love of goodness, man, do not accept it. Okay, just say I have enough friends and then don't talk to her again. Just remove her, okay? Maybe she'll come around, maybe she won't. But the point is, don't be giving up your attention, your time and all that for free, guys. It's not free, okay? Start to respect yourselves. Let's go to the next slide because I'm pretty sure there's another one here. Ah, beautiful. It ends in a meme. When he starts to treat you like a friend and there's the shocked Pikachu face. Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? Right? You say to this guy that he's just a friend, and then he treats you just like a friend, and you get mad about it. Like you can't make that up, can you? But I'm gonna I'm gonna see if we've got anything else, guys, to wrap up today's video with. I think this one will do right here. It is titled "Toxic Only Please." Goodness gracious me. Anyway, getting over lack of physical attraction. I, a 33-year-old female, have been in this situation so many times, I wonder why I keep putting myself there. I often meet really nice, caring guys with the right qualities who I struggle to find physical attraction with. If it's not there, it's hard to fake it. And the guy also reads this and keeps distance once he figures out I'm not into him yet. I've tried not to drag anyone beyond the few dates and let them go, but I've been looking back in my life and realizing how many good people I let go by because of this. I think this probably has something to do with my own introversion and intimacy issues. I've been in relationships before, but they were people I knew as acquaintances for a long time before we dated, so I didn't struggle with this. But an old and formal dating process, I struggle to find attraction for good people. It's only those who are somewhat toxic that I find myself attracted to. I think this is a problem with me and want to read some books slash watch some videos that can help me through this. Right? And this is kind of the point in a girl's life, right? What is she, 33? Okay, this is where they start really having to justify to themselves and go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to start healing myself now, right? Because they need to be able to get that excuse ready for the next guy that they're seeing, right? You'll hear this excuse all the time. Yeah, I've done my healing. I've worked on myself. Guys, the amount of times it's so funny to me, right? When these girls, what they'll do is they'll listen to a podcast on like self-help or something like that, right? And they'll read these books and they'll think that they're healed and that they're ready for a good man. And that's just not how it works, okay? These ladies, man, they've wasted their chance. But guys, we're going to leave today's video there. As always, leave your thoughts and comments below. Always interesting to see what you guys have to say. Don't forget, come and join over on Locals, guys. I know Better Bachelor has also moved over there, I believe. If you're interested in supporting the show, that's a great way to do it, but it's also free to go and join over there too. So just in case anything happens to the channel, guys, we are building a community over there, so make sure you come and join. And don't forget to join the Discord link in the description as well. That is also free, and if anything happens to the channel, you will also be notified in there. You also get notified in the Discord, by the way, guys, when new videos drop and stuff like that. So if you're not on YouTube all the time, or you don't have notifications on for that, that'll also let you know when videos drop on the channel. But gentlemen, we're going to call it there. As always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next video. Peace.